Don't miss today Dr. David K. Kortje, The Unseen War. Let me tell you something, when you finish watching this program, listening to this expert, you're going to do things differently in your life. Watch today.
It's time.
It's time.
And now, it's time for Herman and Sharron.
Okay.
I love you. Thank you so much for
you're-
joining us. My wife just said just before we walked up that I look like a jazzy gangster.
You just tell everything, don't you? Well, you got this kind of sparkle on. It looks great on you, though.
We've spent 50 years together. We have no secrets.
See, I'm sparkly myself.
I know it. I like that.
I got a little ball there that sparkles.
I know it. I like that. Looks like a New Year's, one of those things that
That's right.
Yeah.
That you dance to.
You look
No.
nice, by the way.
Thank you very much.
We'll just stare at it for a while. Okay. Okay.
We're all right, folks. Yes,
Yeah, I thought you were going to read about him.
I am.
Okay, go
but you
ahead.
didn't tell me to do it, so I never do
I
anything
didn't
unless I ask you
Just
first.
feel free to do whatever you want to do.
Dr. Everybody's laughing, yeah, right.
Except walk off. Okay.
Dr. David Kortje is with us. He's a medical examiner, or practitioner, I should say.
Yes.
Medical practitioner.
We
That
want-
examines also, don't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Medical practitioner, I'll get this
He's
right.
got lots of brains, in other words.
Author, speaker, motivator. He's also the director and founder of Night Vision Ministries. And his heart is to see people walk in all the fullness of freedom that Christ has for them.
This is his latest book, and it is fascinating.
That's
Wait
good.
till you hear what he has to say about what is happening today. Here he is, Sharon.
Okay,
hear it.
well, I'm glad to meet him.
Hi, glad to be
Boy,
here.
nice to meet
Good to have you.
Yes, sir.
See, he dresses like I do when I come to the studio. You know, and this is the way I like to dress.
I wish I could dress that nice. I wish I could look that good.
You want to look like a gangster, right?
Oh, goodness.
Good to have you.
Likewise, thank you. Thanks, I'm excited to be here.
How long did it take you to become a physician?
25 years, if I include preschool.
Goodness. I mean,
That's amazing.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, think about this, because I hated school. You start out and you go, okay, you're going to be 25 years in school.
Well, that
Huh?
would scare you right there, wouldn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, but it's kind of one semester at a time is the way you do that.
But did you enjoy school? Were you?
Yeah, you know, I really did. I really did. I didn't enjoy high school a lot. It really wasn't until I got into college that I kind of found the stuff I liked and just loved college. And loved
You
medical
loved
school.
college?
I really did, yes.
Were you saved in college?
I got saved in medical school.
Really?
Okay,
Yeah,
how
I
did that
did.
happen?
It's kind of interesting. I was actually in a second year in my medical school, and a young lady was involved with a group called the Christian Medical and Dental Society. It's kind of like a campus crusade for medical students.
And since it was a female, you started listening.
That's exactly right. She actually came up to me, she's a brilliant girl, and she said, "You know, David," because I was rather antagonistic of them all, and she goes, "You know, David, you're about the right size and shape of the image that's in the Shroud of Turin, and I'm going to be talking about that today. Would you come and be a model for me to show where the wounds were at on the shroud of Jesus?" Well, I mean, here she's asking a guy, "Hey, would you be a model?" And I'm like, "You bet.
Yeah.
I'm your man."
This is the first I've ever heard this one here.
That's a
This is
perfect
news.
come on.
Yes.
It worked great. It worked great. So I went in there and connected with them, and just found that they were real, and that they loved Jesus. And through the midst of another brother who spoke to me, the Lord just spoke to my heart and said, "Boy, I need to step." I'd been involved in a church, but really explained to me I really need to step beyond the salvation to a point where Jesus was the Lord of my life. And
Yes.
boy, everything just changed after that. The whole world turned upside down.
Now, when did you discover that you had another ability? You're a physician, and you can write.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite a, you know, I mean,
Well-
you have dual qualities.
Yeah, this was really interesting because, again, I went to medical school not being a Christian. And really, quite honestly, I went to medical school because I wanted to just prove that I could do something. I mean, honestly, that was really the issue. I was trying to prove to all those gangster friends I had growing up that Dave could do something.
What do you mean? I mean, did you grow up in a bad area?
I didn't grow up in a bad area, but I grew up with a bad attitude.
Okay. A lot of people
And,
do that.
and
Well,
you know,
I did too, but I didn't become a doctor.
a lot of crazy people.
See, you could have.
So as I became a Christian, I started realizing that while medicine was a great gift and I love practicing medicine, that maybe there was something more for me. And one of my passions is to help people find out that there is something specific that God has written on our hearts from, I believe, before the creation of the world.
Yeah.
Ephesians says that before he created the universe, he called us. And so I believe there's something there. And as I began to discover that in myself, I found out that God had called me to something much more than medicine, something much bigger. And so I began writing and began interacting with people and began doing a lot of teaching. And in the midst of that, this book came about just a few years ago by really surprise. I mean, I wasn't planning on writing a book, really.
Can I tell you, when I started reading it, I walked over to Linda's office, our assistant, and I go, this is a tough one. It's, and I even said to her, I said, it's written like a medical doctor would write a prescription.
Okay?
Oh, really?
You understand what I mean by that?
Explain yourself.
You've got to really look at it to figure out what is he saying here, which really makes you dig, because most books are like every chapter is laid out for you, and they even explain many times what the chapter's about before they begin the chapter.
Right.
So your book, it has to be written by somebody with a mind like yours. You like C.S. Lewis. You quote him all through the book.
I love C.S. Lewis. I agree. I love to have people think through reading.
That's what you did in this book.
Yeah.
You've got to think about what you've just read.
Yeah, to reveal the truth, to kind of slowly open up and reveal what it is that God has for us.
Yeah.
And he has so much for us.
And in fact, you quote from the book, The Barbarian Way, when we are born again, we are dropped not into a maternity ward, but into a war zone.
Oh, that's true.
It's a battle.
I mean, so you really frame the book that this walk is not whipped cream and strawberries.
You know, it's really interesting, Herman. When Jesus starts out his ministry, really early in the ministry, he takes his disciples and he sends them out on kind of a training mission, if you would. And Matthew chapter 10, he sends them out and he tells them something. He says, I'm sending you out like sheep among wolves. And then he says something that just fascinates me. He says, do not suppose. Okay. So they must have been supposing. They must have had some preconceived idea of what this Christian thing was.
Because he knew what
about.
they were supposing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so he says, do not suppose that I've come to bring peace. He said, I didn't come to bring peace. I know it's what you think. I know it's what you're hoping. You're hoping this is like everything's over now. It's all easy stuff.
Because he was supposed to be the king.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. I did not come to bring peace, but I came to bring a sword. And a sword is a weapon of hand-to-hand combat. In your face, day to day, you have to learn how to use it. You have to train to use it. And Jesus explained to his disciples early on in the game that this is a battle that we're being dropped into. And so he spends the next 3 years training them to be prepared to enter into that battle.
Can I tell you, you look like an outdoor kind of guy that would actually climb the Colorado Rockies.
I have climbed a number of them.
See how
That's
clairvoyant I am?
Or maybe it said that in the book.
Yeah. But you climbed 14,196 feet, and you say, God taught me this self-sufficient guy is what you basically felt like. And I can understand why. I mean, God gave you this phenomenal mind, so you would have a tendency to feel like I'm pretty self-sufficient. I can come up with the answers if I don't see them right away.
Yeah.
So that climbing did something.
What a dangerous place to be, too. And we all have that tendency, you know. We all have this thing of trying to figure it all out ourselves. And one of the things I love about this Christian walk, this battle that Christ has called us into, is that he wants to be there and he wants to father us through the thing. He wants to walk with us and teach us along the way. And so that was a great experience. I was with a friend. We were hiking the Rockies, and he just honestly got wiped out. He was tired, and he was ready to turn around and go back.